This old man tried to destroy you, but something terrible happened. You need to see this. Archangel Michael says, be silent for a moment and let your breath catch. What you are about to hear is not a tale, it is a warning and a revelation. There was an old man, one you know, or perhaps only felt, whose every move was coated in shadows. He watched you for years from behind his wrinkled disguise, plotting. Every blessing you touched made his envy coil tighter around his chest. He carried a heart poisoned by jealousy and a past that burned with shame. No one suspected him. He played the innocent, the wise, the elder, while his mind created weapons of words and manipulation. But deep inside, he couldn't bear your rising light. He said sweet things to your face, but in hidden places, he whispered curses into the smoke. And the more he tried to damage your life, the darker his reflection became. He contacted people behind your back, made calls, sent messages, manipulated truths like twisting a blade. He paid someone money to give him information about you, personal things. He kept files on you, dates, moments, things you thought no one noticed. His obsession became his full-time ritual. He even visited someone who practiced dark spiritual crafts, a woman with dead eyes who accepted his money, and she gave him something wrapped in cloth to block your path. He buried that object in a place close to your home. Under moonlight, digging with crooked fingers, he spoke against your name. The wind itself grew restless that night, but what he didn't know was that light has eyes too, that angels walk where God's chosen sleep. And as he cursed your name, something ancient and powerful began to rise. Type Amen to get blessing 333 that night. While you rested, your body twitched in your sleep. Your spirit felt a chill, a ripple, a push of some invisible weight. It was not just a dream, it was an alarm sounding from the heavens. Your ancestors stirred. The blood of survivors, of warriors, of prophets flowed through you. You were not defenseless, and your energy began to fight back. The woman he paid warned him. She saw your protection. She told him, "This one is marked by a force I cannot touch." He didn't believe her. He was desperate, afraid that you were getting stronger and would leave him behind. And so, he ignored her, returning the next week with a larger payment. But this time, something went wrong. He collapsed right in front of her door. His eyes rolled back, and a harsh wind blew through the room, shattering glass. They rushed him to the hospital, but the machines around him behaved strangely. The lights flickered, his vitals glitched, and his skin turned cold. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. The doctors were puzzled. They said it looked like a sudden attack, but the tests came back clean. No logical reason. Just darkness moving through his body like it had been summoned. He mumbled your name, kept calling you, over and over, even in his unconscious state. They had to restrain him because he kept trying to scratch his arms. A nurse swears she saw a shadow at his bedside. Something tall, with wings that stretched too wide for any human space. The nurse quit the next morning, pale and shaking. Type Amen to get blessing 444, and while he lay in that bed, a reversal began. The curses he tried to send out boomeranged back. His secrets began to surface like oil rising to water. The people he tried to influence, They began to step away. One by one, they distanced themselves, realizing his lies could no longer stay hidden. A woman in your neighborhood came forward. She admitted she was once used by him to spy on you. But she said, "I had to stop. Something told me this wasn't right." Your name started clearing. Where he tried to drag you into gossip, now people whispered blessings. Where he tried to sabotage your joy, now invitations and opportunities appeared like magic. You may not have known why things started shifting, but it was your divine defense stepping in quietly. What was meant to harm you turned into your elevation. The man aged rapidly in days. Hair fell, teeth loosened, his hands trembled. The guilt weighed on him like iron chains wrapped around his soul. He tried to confess, but no one believed him anymore. He tried to warn others about the spiritual power around you, but they laughed. They called it madness, when in truth, it was justice. Type Amen to get blessing 222. Archangel Michael says, "He who attempts to destroy the protected will taste the edge of justice sharpened by truth. And truth is the weapon that never misses its mark." Your energy is reclaiming itself. You have unknowingly stepped into the season of reversal. Now, everything that was stolen, respect, peace, love, honor, is coming back to you. The old man tried to access realms he didn't understand. He poked too deep into shadows, hoping to bend fate to his bitter desires. But what he didn't count on was your silent army. They walk beside you now. They seal your home, whisper protection into your pillow, and guide your dreams. He touched what was forbidden, and now the consequence is unfolding. Some say he mutters now in broken sentences, that he sees things in mirrors and windows that no one else can. He points at shadows and says your name like a haunting him. They call it karma. But it's not just that. It is the divine orchestration of justice that was long overdue. Type Amen to get blessing 555. There's something else you must know. His plans weren't only about gossip and rumors. He had a document, a forged paper meant to cause legal harm. He wanted to tie your name to something false. He had been preparing it silently, lining up witnesses. But right before he was about to act, his left hand went numb. He dropped the pen. The file caught fire in his home. No source, no match, just sudden combustion. He ran, screaming, as flames licked the edge of the table. Neighbors called the firemen, but the paper was gone. It was as if divine hands had touched it and declared, "Not today. You were never supposed to see it. But now you've been told, and now you know why things feel strange lately. You were under attack, but you never fell. You rose. You smiled. You walked unaware, but protected." Type Amen to get blessing 777. The old man will live, but not the same. His mind is fogged now. He relives moments in a loop, haunted by his own deceit. And those who supported him? They're finding themselves entangled in strange misfortunes. Phones lost, jobs cancelled, doors closing, one after another. It's not random. It's a cleansing. You are being removed from that cycle of destruction. Your light was not dimmed, it was shielded. Your voice was not silenced, it was elevated. The circle of betrayal has cracked, and you now stand on new ground. Archangel Michael says, your enemies have run out of disguises. Their masks have slipped, and now, they must face what they have sown. You don't need to speak a word against them. Your existence is loud enough. Your breath is testimony. Your survival is warfare. Type Amen to get blessing 999. He may have cursed your name in the silence of his room, but now your name is being written in gold. Where blessings flow. The walls he tried to build around your joy are falling like paper castles in the rain. You are being restored, not just in one way, but in all directions. Wherever the old man sent his intentions, they now backfire. Your destiny cannot be destroyed by anyone driven by bitterness. The very people he lied to are now apologizing in subtle ways. You may notice strange kindness from those who once avoided you. They're realizing the truth, realizing they were misled. He wanted your relationships to break. He wanted friends to abandon you, to believe in his twisted tale. But now, people are finding the strength to return and stand beside you again. The old man underestimated how deep your divine protection runs. You were not alone, not for a second. Even in your most confused moments, you were surrounded by unseen warriors. One night he dreamt of falling endlessly. No ground. No sound, just darkness swallowing his voice. He woke up screaming, drenched in sweat, unable to walk for hours. They called it a medical condition. But it was more than that. It was a warning from realms higher than his reach. He was shown what waits for those who meddle in another's soul path. Type Amen to get blessing 1010. Every lie has a lifespan, and his have all expired. His web of deception has begun to collapse like ash under holy wind. He never expected that his own family would begin to ask questions. One of his closest relatives found documents hidden under his bed. Letters, voice memos, notes. Your name circled multiple times. The relative confronted him, and the old man broke. Tears, rage, confusion. He screamed that you were always the threat. But the relative didn't see a threat. They saw someone who has only ever tried to live in peace. They deleted everything and chose to warn others instead. People started sharing their experiences. One by one, they told their stories about his manipulation. He had hurt many, not just you. He wore wisdom like a mask, but behind it lived cruelty, resentment, and bitterness. And now the truth is no longer silent. Type Amen to get blessing 1212. You, the one he tried to break, are now rising. Every move you make from now on will carry grace and fire. Your laughter will echo like justice fulfilled. The old man now sleeps with the lights on. He tells people he hears footsteps at night, footsteps that stop at his door and whisper your name. He's tried calling out for forgiveness, but there is silence on the other side of his prayers. Because he didn't just attack your name, he tried to dismantle your soul. Your path was blessed since the beginning. He couldn't understand how someone younger, someone quiet, could carry such light without asking for attention. But light doesn't beg. Light doesn't chase. It simply shines, and that's what you did. And that's what he hated most. Type Amen to get blessing 1414. You're going to feel shifts now. Doors will open that were once sealed. Strangers will help you in unusual ways. Money, offers, breakthroughs, some of them delayed, are finally coming back. They were spiritually blocked, held back by his rituals. but the blockage has been broken. If your body has felt tired recently, it was part of this spiritual war. You were absorbing dark arrows meant to slow you down. But now, those arrows have returned to sender. Your energy is clearing. Your glow will become visible to people even in a crowd. Your spirit will command attention, and your voice will carry authority. The same old man who wanted you silenced will now watch you rise in complete clarity. That is divine justice at its finest. And he will have to live long enough to see your transformation. Type Amen to get blessing 1616. He once wished you would lose everything. But now you're about to gain double what you were born to have. The spirit world has issued a decree. Your restoration is non-negotiable. He's heard things now. Not from people, but from voices that echo from realms he disturbed. They tell him to return what he tried to steal. He tried to manipulate your fate like chess pieces. But now the board has flipped, and he's losing pieces one by one. Soon, you'll notice even your dreams will change. You'll see signs, names, faces, confirmations. It's your spirit showing you the victory that's already yours. The tables have turned, and you won't need revenge, because the heavens have already handled what your hands never had to touch. Type Amen to get blessing 1818. Archangel Michael says, every force that was sent to harm you has now been transformed into a force that will lift you. Keep walking. Keep speaking with strength. There's an unseen celebration happening just for you. You'll begin to see cracks in his circle. People walking away. People regretting ever standing against you. Some of them may even try to return to your life. But you'll have the discernment now. You'll recognize energy without needing words. Because of what was done behind your back, the universe is giving you rewards you never even prayed for. This is divine compensation. You've earned this. You endured silently. And that silence became a roar in the spiritual world. Type Amen to get blessing 2020. Your silence was never weakness. It was sacred. It was the reason the heavens moved so fiercely in your favor. He thought because you didn't react, you were powerless. But in truth, your spirit was collecting receipts. Every attack he launched was being recorded by forces he could never see. And now those records are being opened. One by one, justice is being executed, not in rage, but in divine sequence. And you, chosen one, are at the center of this divine unfolding. His health is deteriorating, but not by disease, by guilt and spiritual contamination. The darkness he summoned clings to him now. He can no longer cleanse himself of it. He sees shadows before he sleeps. He hears whispers in places of silence. His reflection sometimes does not move when he moves. You are no longer vulnerable. You are the rising flame he could never extinguish. Your very presence now causes discomfort in those who try to harm you. Type Amen to get blessing 2323. He wanted you erased from people's memory. But now your name is being mentioned in rooms of opportunity. He wanted your tears. Now you hold the laughter of victory. Watch how even nature begins to favor you. The timing of things will become divine. You will be at the right place, right time, more than once. That is not luck. It's compensation. He delayed your season, but he could not cancel it. The things he tried to ruin, your reputation, your peace, your path, will now return to you with more weight, more grace, more blessing. This is restoration from a realm above revenge. Your name was on his lips in bitterness. But now your name is in the hands of angels being lifted in celebration. This shift is irreversible. Type Amen to get blessing 2525. The old man is now haunted not by spirits, but by memory. Every step he took against you replays in his mind. He sees what you could have been for him, a light, a gift, a reflection of goodness. But he chose jealousy, he chose deception, and he made a deal with darkness that came back full price. His allies have vanished. The woman who helped him has disappeared after her own string of nightmares. She woke up with strange marks on her arms and has left town. They never understood that divine protection is not a myth. It's a force that cannot be bribed, cannot be manipulated, and never loses. And it wrapped around you like invisible armor. You may not have seen the war, but it was raging behind the veil. And now the spoils of that victory are yours to collect. Type Amen to get blessing 2727. You're going to be surprised how quickly things change now. Your finances, your connections, your dreams, all aligning like stars. There is no more delay. There was once confusion in your mind. Things felt stuck, blurred, heavy. That fog was spiritual warfare, the old man's interference. But now that fog is lifted. You'll wake with clarity. You'll feel lighter in your chest and sharper in your thoughts. Because his attempts to curse you are not just broken, they've been reversed. What he sent is returning. And it's not gentle. But you will remain untouched. You will witness from a distance, elevated and protected. Because you stayed true, you kept your heart clean. Type Amen to get blessing 2929. He will try to seek forgiveness. Not out of love, but out of fear. Because he now knows what you carry is not ordinary. He may come with words, apologies, stories. But you'll feel it. You'll know if it's real or another performance. And if your spirit says no, walk away without guilt. Not everyone deserves access after betrayal. Forgiveness is spiritual, but boundaries are protection. And your peace is now your priority. You may have thought all this was coincidence. But now you see, nothing was random. The pain had a pattern. And now the healing has a purpose. You're about to become the very thing he feared, unstoppable, undeniable, divinely appointed. And no shadow can dim that. Type Amen to get blessing 3030. Archangel Michael says, those who tried to bury you didn't realize you were a seed. And now, oh, now, you are rising as a forest. You've been growing in silence, rooting deep while they laughed. And now, your blooming is going to be loud. They will hear about your elevation. Not just him, but everyone who joined him. And there will be silence in their circles when your name is spoken next. You owe no one an explanation. Your breakthrough is self-explanatory. It speaks volumes where words would fail. The old man will live with the knowledge that he failed. Not because you attacked him, but because you were protected without lifting a finger. Type Amen to get blessing 3333. There will be an event soon. A gathering, a call, or even a coincidence, where his story will come to light. And when it does, do not shrink. Stand tall. Hold your head high. You survived a storm built specifically to destroy you, and you walked out cleaner. Your enemies didn't just lose. They taught everyone around you who you truly are. Their plans only revealed your strength. And now, The throne they tried to keep from you is being built in front of their eyes. Sit on it. Walk into it. Own it. Because it is yours. Your destiny was never in his hands. It was written in sacred fire long before he began plotting. And now that fire is spreading, consuming everything that stood in your way. Doors are opening that were once sealed with fear. Connections are returning that were stolen by lies. And your energy is being seen, admired, and respected. No more hiding. No more waiting. This is your time to stand up fully in your authority. Even the earth responds to you now. Nature has aligned to push you forward, and those who once doubted you are beginning to see your light in full force. He will not escape what he summoned, because what he sent out with wicked hands has come back through winds, waters, and whispers. Type Amen to get blessing 3535. They say karma is a mirror. But this is more than reflection, this is divine confrontation. And he is staring into the consequence of his own choices. The sleepless nights you had because of his manipulation are now being replaced with peaceful, deep, dream-filled rest. You are being restored in body, mind, and soul. Your skin will glow. Your spirit will be calm. Your energy will magnetize blessings. Even those who don't know your story will sense your presence. They'll know something powerful walks with you. You don't need to explain, just keep showing up. Everything that seemed delayed was actually being preserved. Nothing was denied, only protected. And now, you'll receive everything multiplied. Type Amen to get blessing 3737. He thought his age gave him permission to destroy. He believed that seniority gave him sacred access. But truth doesn't care about age, only about intent. He ignored all warnings. Even nature tried to stop him with omens. But he pressed forward, obsessed with your downfall. Now he walks with a limp, not just in body, but in spirit. The pride he once wore is now dust. And those who stood behind him are stepping away, afraid of what might touch them next. Because they sense what has returned to him is not ordinary. You were the lesson he refused to learn. Now he must live through the consequences. Type Amen to get blessing 3939. There is a place you've been dreaming about, a physical location or opportunity calling your spirit. It will become available to you suddenly. Go. Walk into it without fear. It was withheld until this moment on purpose. Because had you entered earlier, he would have sent energy to block or tarnish it. But now, it is yours fully. You will be called blessed by those who once labeled you cursed. You will be admired by those who once mocked your faithfulness. You will be respected by people who don't even know what you endured. Your testimony will be your thunder, and it will echo through circles you never even stepped in. Let it. You deserve every bit of recognition that flows now. Type Amen to get blessing 4040. This is not just your comeback. This is your new beginning. A life untouched by the old man's corruption. He wanted you small. But now, nations will hear of you. He wanted you quiet, but your voice will reach rooms of influence. You were the storm he never saw coming. Because you didn't fight with rage. You waited in power. And now, that power is speaking for you louder than words. Let this message settle in your spirit. Every moment of confusion you lived through was strategic. Your steps were ordered, even when they felt lost. Now you will walk in certainty. And no old shadow can follow where you are going. You have outgrown their reach. Type Amen to get blessing 4444. Look forward now. With clear eyes and an open heart. Your life is entering acceleration. And no amount of old sabotage can slow you anymore. You are no longer in the battlefield. You are in the blessing field. The old man is simply a memory now. A warning to others that touching the chosen has a cost. Let his story be buried with the lies he once lived by. Your legacy starts now. Your story will inspire others who are under similar attacks. Because you survived what was designed to break you. You are walking proof of divine protection. You are the evidence that light wins. And no old trick can stand against new grace. Final words. Walk proudly now. The old man's plans failed. And your name is rising like morning sun, undeniable, unstoppable, and sacred. Type Amen to get blessing 5050.